30 to 40 minutes of moderate physical therapy, physical activity. See, I'm always thinking physical therapy. Physical activity each day can help improve cardiac function. So get out there, fast-paced walking, cycling, either outside or on a stationary bike, and swimming are just a few things you can do to exercise your heart. Did you know that smoking not only affects your lung health, but is one of the top controllable risk factors for heart disease? Quitting is not only good for your heart, but improves your overall general health. And think the damage is already done, so why stop? According to the American Cancer Society, within minutes of smoking your last cigarette, your body begins to recover. 20 minutes after quitting, your heart rate and somebody's calling.
It's fine.
20 minutes after quitting, your heart rate and blood pressure drop. A few days after quitting, carbon monoxide levels in your blood drop back to normal. 2 weeks to 3 months after quitting, your circulation improves and your lung function increases. 1 to 2 months after quitting, the cilia in your lungs regain normal function. 1 to 2 years after quitting, your risk of heart attack drops dramatically. 5 to 10 years after quitting, risk factors of cancer of the mouth, throat, and voice box are cut in half, and the risk of stroke decreases. 15 years after quitting, your risk of coronary heart disease is close to that of a non-smoker. And the last did you know fact, your oral health is related to your heart health. A Harvard study found there is a direct connection between oral health and coronary health. Bacteria in your mouth can affect your heart. It is important to brush and floss twice daily and see a dentist at least once a year. I'm sorry, I don't know why I think that's funny, but it is important to, I was like, that's interesting. But these are the facts that Linda wanted you guys to be aware of for Heart Health Month. If she was here, she would have gone into more detail about the clinical aspects of the program, which that's not my wheelhouse, that's not my strength, and not something that I feel comfortable going into. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, take them back, answer the ones I can and take back the ones that I can't answer to Linda. And maybe we can get her to come to a future meeting. But we just wanted to share information about our cardiopulmonary program and make sure that you're aware of it and that you let your constituents know about it. Any members you have in your groups, if anyone comes to you with a question or concern, we're here. I'm here as a resource for the community. And just thank you for letting us share the program with you. And feel free, there's calendars up here, eyeglass cleaner, and everything else is for you to take. So thank you guys for letting me speak.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? Yes.
Oh, yay.
This is my bias. I'm just curious, do you have a nutritionist on staff?
We do have a nutritionist on staff, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the whole approach to physical well-being when you're in the facility. There's a whole gamut of doctors and clinicians that work on the case with you. Yeah.
Can you talk about the programs that you take out? You mentioned
Sure.
the harmonica, you mentioned the
Cardio
cardio
drumming.
and
We've done nutrition programs. I'm actually, and this is with the seniors, that's not related to the therapy, but I do a reminisce program with the seniors, and I go out and I ask questions about the past, and it just makes them, it just brings up nostalgia and feeling, good, heartwarming feelings. And then we make like chocolate egg creams with them or something that is, a throwback to an era that is no longer. And it's really successful, and it makes everyone that is exposed to it just leaves like very lighthearted and happy. It's actually a really cool program. But Linda can also come out and talk about she can do breathing exercises. She does this Jenga thing with a big Jenga tower and teaches about balance and how it relates to the systems in the body, whether it's the heart, the lungs, or just your overall nervous system. There's a lot. We can talk offline about this if you'd like, but there's a lot of things we can do, and we can even form a specialized program for a unique ask.
Okay, great. Thank
Anyone
you.
else?
Special program for the staff of the city hall.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah, okay. We could probably talk later. I need special programs for the staff too. So,
Thank
any
you.
other questions? No? Okay.
Just-
Yeah.
Just a quick one.
Sure.
Kathy. You mentioned about a half a dozen activities that have negative consequences for one's heart condition.
Mhm.
In terms of the patients that you're treating, can you actually qualify itemized as healthy living activities and what you're finding in the patients that are coming in?
Yes, actually, they do have outcomes, and they collect data in the facility while the residents with us. And data is collected and analyzed, and we watch for outcomes. And yes, we do see a correlation. I can't speak to it. I don't have the data, and I'm not that's not my profession. So yes, but you can see the correlation for sure.
Any other questions?
No,
Comments, concerns?
no, okay. Well, thank you for letting me share this with you.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's just really quickly do a attendance. If you don't mind just letting us know where you're from. Everyone's coming out of the woodworks today. They see sun and everyone's driving me crazy. If anyone plays pickleball here, you're not my friend.
Oh.
I'll start. My name is Spiro. I run youth services and recreation for the city of Glen Cove and president of the IAC.
Kathy Santucci, as I mentioned, community liaison for Glen Cove Center and Emerge, and I am on the board of IAC.
Brenda Lopez, on the board of IAC. This is my church, so I work here also. And I'm also a bilingual outreach coordinator for SAFE.
I'm Phyllis Burnett. I'm president of Kiwanis Club, and I do a lot of stuff.
I'm Lydia Wen, and I'm here to represent the Glen Cove Public Library.
Tony Jonas representing Veterans Affairs for the city.
Okay.
I just sit here. I'm pastor of Trinity Lutheran Church on Glen Cove on Forest Avenue. I'm Travis, and then I think I'm on the board.
You're a lifer.
Yeah.
Dan Logan representing Charles Evans Center.
John Javis also representing Charles Evans Center.
Helen Kotsky representing the League of Voters.
Patricia Holman, Executive Director of the Glen Cove Downtown Bid. Nancy, the Director of the Glen Cove VOC. Good morning, I'm Colleen Spinola, representing the Church of St. Rocco Outreach, and I am also on the board of the IAC.
Nancy Rosenfeld representing the Hersey Foundation.
Kathy Evans, representing Island Health Food Bank.
Donna McNaughton, Deputy Mayor of Glen Cove.
Ron Rockwell representing ARP.
Carolyn Wilson, Vice President, and who am I representing? Oh, not museum.
Another stuff, another stuff. Just want to say that Travis has been, as usual, most exceptional person when I need a favor for the community, something to get done. But also I want to congratulate him because now he is a Army chaplain.
Oh,
Congrats.
congratulations.
Yeah, so I think I'm very proud. I really am. It's like, it's
That's
very,
really
very cool.
sweet.
It's gonna cost you, you know that.
That's 10 favors right there.
Yeah.
At least.
All right. I don't have a treasurer's report on, obviously, because my treasurer's not here, and this is recording, so you're late. No, she's fine. She just said she's running late. Something happened. Anyone have any announcements or anything they'd like to discuss? I see a bunch of flyers on this table. We did speak, Camille, we did speak about the
Yes.
so I left them over here, so you don't think I forgot.
Thank you.
Not a
Sorry, I'm not there in person, but the annual application process is upon us for the Community Development Block Grant. We do have a small portion of the overall grant dedicated to public service agencies. We have, consistently supported at least 6 or 7 of you annually, but we're always open to entertain other programs. Anyone that wishes to apply must attend a mandatory workshop here at City Hall on Thursday, February 16th at 3 p.m. in the second floor conference room. Ann Fangman and I will, preside over that, talk about the process. In addition to public service programs, which if you apply under the municipal approach, which is through us. It has to be a program that is specifically for Glen Cove residents, 51% of which need to have demonstrated that they are low to moderate income according to Nassau County income limits. And I prefaced it in that manner because like an organization such as like a Charles Evans, you know, who does great work that services, you know, the region, can apply directly through Nassau County. So if they're not aware of that, I can give them information on who to speak to at the county to make their own application if they haven't already. So I look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday at 3 o'clock in the second floor conference room. Also, this is a public hearing that will be held during city council, and there'll be a comment period for 2 weeks for the public to make recommendations on programs that are not necessarily public service programs, but the Community Development Block Grant also funds like city projects, like municipal infrastructure, you know, pedestrian improvements, things like that. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Will the program be recorded? So if you can't attend in person, you can watch it or no?
We're not offering a Zoom option. It's we only did that during COVID. It's in person. We're following suit of the county did the same thing, but yes, they did have a Zoom option, but you know that's more countywide. So in person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions for Camille? No? All right. So the flyers are here. You guys can feel free to pick those up. You guys have a bunch of papers. Anything you guys want to discuss?
I just have a flyer for, you know, after last month's great presentation by Charles Evans Center, we have been talking and formed a great relationship. They're giving us a social worker on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 9 to noon. And she's bilingual, so I have flyers.
Bless you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So
I saw it online. I think, did you guys
I
post
shared
about
it,
this
yeah.
online?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
and then also for our banner project, we have essays this year to go with the Memorial Day. I shouldn't say Memorial Day. It starts from Memorial Day and then it ends on Veterans Day. The military tribute banners that will be at Morgan Memorial Park this year. There's 2 aspects, 2 essays associated with it for middle schoolers and high schoolers. So we have information on that. Yes.
Just for information's sake, that the homeless shelter is open. And one of the things, I don't know where my phone is. I hope it's in my house. But one of the things that I noticed is that they are, you know, there's food that people have been cooking food. And what we've done in the past before pandemic, we used to cook food, bring it to the shelter, and we would serve the food to the clients that are in the shelter. So we're doing the same thing. We have less men as of I don't know the feast more than 15.
I mean, the first night there were 9.
Yeah.
There were 9 of them. And then I think I've in subsequent correspondence, I've seen make meals for 16.
Yeah.
Because there are people who also help, right?
Right,
Who help
right.
stay overnight.
Right. So there's the volunteers. It's being sponsored by what's the name of this temple here?
Tiferet, I don't know.
Tiferet.
Yeah, Tiferet.
Right. So they're right. So they're the sponsors of the shelter.
They provide the food?
No, individual. So basically what happens is, let's say it's my night, which is coming up. My club will ask the membership to cook. So I asked them to tell me what they're cooking. And I want 18 pans of lasagna. And
Jimmy's coming in. We should all clap when she walks in.
Give her a standing.
We should.
so anyways, individuals cook, individual clubs, individual churches. Churches can cook, a church group can cook. So you can cook and then you bring your cooked food to the kitchen. They have a nice kitchen, by the way. we bring kitchen and then
Thank you for coming. Meeting's over.
So anyway, so you can cook, you bring your food to the kitchen, your group can, or you can, you know, put it, they have paper plates, cups, they have all that stuff. You know, we do ask that, you know, like, you bring. just like a-
One Phyllis is enough. Two I can't deal with.
So I do ask, you know, like everybody else, when you have dinner with your family, you have your main course, you have dessert, you have something to drink, you know. And one of the things that we try to establish is pocket food because they are homeless. So, you know, they have individual cakes, oranges, apples, things you can put in your pocket. We got a generous donation from one of the bagel companies here in the Glen Cove, and I ended up with like 500 bagels. No, and the view is very, very nice. They let me put them in their freezer because what am I gonna do? But anyway, but it's all pocket food, so they can grab it, put it in their pocket and they can leave. And so I'm just saying, but it's closing in March. So it's gonna be open for a very short period of time. I know that the Charles Evans has gone in there. We've had the social worker coming in, bilingual social worker, come in and speak to them also. So basically, it's a wonderful thing to have again. What I've always, and I'm gonna say it loud because Don is gone. I get angry because we don't have a shelter for women. So that's the thing that upsets me because we do have women who are homeless. And the homeless shelter for women is in Hempstead. So, you know, but at least we can take care of another group of people. So anyway, it's open. Like I had my phone, I could give you the link to tell you where to go to look for the list of food because there's a lot of vacancies, a lot of open spots.
Oh, it's an app called Sign Up Genius.
Okay, because I don't have my notes.
Yeah, Sign Up Genius.
Okay,
That's how you can sign up. too.
Yeah.
yes.
And it's really easy. We did it 1 year. It's like really, you just go in, type in what you're gonna do, and then
Right.
tells you, it gives you all the information.
So it's very cool. Yeah, it's usually Saturdays and Sundays that are vacant because, you know, the people are busy, I guess, and they don't want to get involved. But anyway, check it out. You know, it's really good. And I was feeling really good because we opened up the week that we had that drop in
Yes,
10 below
yes.
zero weather,
Um,
and it opened. It's a perfect opening. So anyway, that's new. That to me, that's, you know, something that's going on in the community, and I appreciate it because it's so many groups helped. It wasn't just, you know, it wasn't Kiwanis, it wasn't Travis's church. It was the community helped. It was like I couldn't get over how much everybody in the community stepped in to help do this, to get this homeless shelter open again. So it's very cool. And thank you, Charles Evans, guys.
I just mentioned.
Yep.
Thank you once again, Spiro and Carolyn, for inviting Charles Evans Center to present last month. And thank you, Lydia, for mentioning our collaboration and Phyllis. And in the interim, we've met with many of the local organizations, and they have been welcoming to us. Thank you very much. And we have been working on and have effected some collaborations with local organizations. So John is here to talk about some of those collaborations and how we can build upon it. But just wanted to say thank you again for inviting us to present, and for other agencies for opening their doors to potential collaborations with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Jermaine, do you want to do a quick report or? Now the meeting's over.
I missed the last one. Hi, everyone. Sorry for my tardiness. We are logging in. We have over $7,628 in our bank. Only thing that we've been spending money on recently is our Zoom. Honestly, there's nothing else out of the ordinary that we've been doing. We donated recently to the VFW post, right?
Phoenix Rising. the
Phoenix
event.
Rising, which was $500. And we're gonna have I don't know if you want to discuss it, but we're gonna have a board meeting after this meeting to go over more details. Are you gonna discuss that part? Are we gonna-
You mentioned it earlier, the bylaws.
Oh,
Yeah.
the bylaws and the other, the budget we're gonna discuss as well. You already talked about it.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you walk in late. We're doing really great with membership. We've added a couple new members. And you know, the IEC is what we make of it. So if we want to expand our reach to outside of Glen Cove and to the community or more people in Glen Cove, there's so many nonprofit and community agencies that aren't a part of the IEC. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to come in. We have the opportunity on Zoom, so people can't come in. Like, we're trying to, you know, get out there, and this is the best way to do your outreach, right? Is to connect with other organizations and let them know what you have in your organization. So I think, you know, if you know of anybody that wants to join the IEC, they can simply just call one of us, or they can go on the website and they can join right away. And that's how actually we've gotten a couple of members. They just go on there and they've joined themselves. It's a very easy process, and you guys know it's only $100 dues. It's not like we're asking a lot. We're just asking for you guys to show up and participate, really. There's only a couple of agencies that are past due for this year so far, and honestly, I think that's amazing. You know, I think that the emails, you know, I think we've always done mailings and such in the past, and it's taken a long time. If you are on this list and you haven't gotten an email, just let me know, because then obviously we need to make sure you're completely on the list. But I mean, I don't want to go over this. You guys, you know, either you know who you are or you want to look at the list later. Let me know. But really, I think you guys are amazing. This is a great organization, and I'm gonna stop talking. I'm Jamae, by the way.
I just want to add to what Jamae's saying about the organization. I work with a lot of organizations in Nassau and Suffolk County. There are no other towns, to my knowledge, that have a group like IAC. There are organizations that bring people together from all over the island, but this organization brings people together from Glen Cove mostly and in the surrounding areas. And when I mention it to people, they're like, "What? What's that? What do you mean? Like, what? You have an organization like that?" Like, it's a really special organization to be a part of. I just wanted to add that because I have gotten that feedback from outside of the area. So.
Yeah, I was just recently giving a presentation to the League of Women Voters, which is called the Port Washington Manhasset League, but it includes Glen Cove.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually a league person many years ago that started this organization, right?
Rhoda.
And so I was talking about what I did with La Fuerza Unida and how part of the grant money that I got from the New York State League, I used to join this organization to be able for the league to connect with more different groups. And they started to get really interested in the idea of an IAC, and people are saying, why don't we have that?
We have the copyrights. They'd have to pay us. Doesn't work.
It's a unique organization, it really is.
One of their school board members is interested in joining the committee that I have on of voter outreach. But I think over time, when we reach out to more different organizations in that area, there might be a way for people to really do something about that, because they feel like they should have it. And they were impressed.
I think, was it 70, what was the year?
71.
71, I think, is when Rhoda and another woman who was a social worker for the hospital started the IOC.
They can come and audit us if they want.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
been
they
going
might,
ever,
you know,
it's
wanna
never
come
fallen
Check
apart.
it out, or I can share the website
Yeah,
and see what kind of organizations are all doing it.
right, sure, yeah. Well, I have a list right here.
Yeah, right.
Anything else except for Brenda?
I'm just gonna say something really quick because there was a couple of questions about my church. I'm not the speaker today, but I'm just 5 minutes. Someone was asking if we have a food pantry. We do not have a food pantry. We don't have the space for food pantry. A little bit about us, we've been here for 44 years. The church is the first Hispanic church in the community. They started in the Orchard and then they came here. And then so my parents came. It was supposedly a temporary trip. We used to live in Brentwood. Our parents were in church in Brentwood. And they told my mom and dad, you're gonna go to this town. They had no idea where Glen Cove was. They never heard of it. They got lost. And you're gonna temporarily fill in until you get a new pastor. Well, temporary turned into 44 years.
Oh, wow.
So we've been here that long. We do a lot of stuff in the community between with Spiro and with Sharon and stuff. Sharon gives us, so we try to work it out. We don't really talk about it as much. We don't, people don't really know what we're doing, but we try to do Thanksgiving things and Christmas, and we do funeral help and things like that for the, for Glen Cove community. We're trying to get a little bit more out there in websites and all that stuff. But God knows what we're doing, and that's all that matters. We feel like we don't really have to announce it to the world, but if we can help in anything, we do sometimes have space. We've done workshops here before. Remember, the police department came, the mayor, a previous mayor came and did a presentation. So we don't have the facility to really do. We would love to help with the men's shelter during the day. It was things like that we would love to do, but right now we don't have the capacity to do that. We've been fundraising for a couple of years. Our goal is to build a second floor. And once we have the second floor, then it'll be really for our children's ministry, but we can do those things. If somebody needs to come in here and Spiro needs some of the youth to come, we can offer that. But right now, so if you have any other questions, just let me know. My father passed away 2 years. That's his picture over there. One of our young members actually painted that. She's 21 years old and she did that for us. So it's now me and my mom, and I help her. My mom is the pastor. I am not the pastor. I just do everything else. I just run the show behind the scenes and she preaches. I mean, I preach too, but I live it up to her. But if you guys need anything, just let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. As Linda said, good morning again. My name is Irma Jency. I'm the program director of the Glen Cove VOC. Just to say, we do have a food pantry that we provide food 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We also on Thursdays, we give out fresh fruit and vegetables, dairy, pastries, and it's for the whole Glen Cove area. And as of yesterday, we also have Metro cards. We provide 2 with Metro cards.
Wow.
For anybody that's in need of it, they just come in or they call us. We also deliver the food. If anybody cannot make it to the pantry, they call us and we do deliver the food to them.
Remember how much is on the Metro cards?
It's a 2-way Metro card, so I think $5.50.
Okay.
So do they're not qualified, right?
For the Metro card, no. And
for the
for
food,
the on Thursdays, no qualification, but on 5 days a week, they have to be 200% real.
Okay.
So we should put that on the website so we can have the
Yes,
dates.
it's on the website, but I just didn't know about.
Perfect.
So did you tell them about the food pantry on the website?
Yeah, I think everyone knows on our website, we list all the food pantries in Glen Cove. So if you have a client that's looking for, I can't make it on Tuesday, let me look, maybe see if anybody has one going on Wednesday. So different food pantries like the EAC and Travis's food pantry, St. Pat's, ours, Porch Pantry's on there. Are they members of the IAC?
I don't
know,
think
but
so.
anyway, they're a food pantry, so we mentioned that they're all listed at the different times and.
Well,
the
Porch Pantry
location.
merged with Nosh.
I'm sorry?
Porch Pantry merged with Nosh.
When did this happen?
Yeah, they merged with Nosh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I
I
think
saw
read something.
somewhere posted one
Yeah.
time.
And I just added the soup kitchen that's up and running too, for the soup kitchen we added on there at the First Baptist Church.
Is there anything on the weekend that can deliver?
No, they don't deliver on the weekend, but St. Pat's is on
Pat's on
Saturday.
Saturday,
But
but
they
no
don't have
delivery.
a delivery that I know of. But St. Marcos, if I'm around, I'll be happy to make a delivery here and there.
On the weekend?
Yeah, anytime.
Because
I
I
would
have
check-
received calls at the library.
Check with
Emergency
Nosh.
Food delivered
Oh,
on the
okay.
weekend.
Yeah, so
Check with Nosh.
on call.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think.
On the
so,
weekend.
Nosh. Yeah, well, I can talk to Christine. I gotta go as soon as.
Okay.
I can also just share and consider what you're saying that Island Harvest has a food pantry locator that it's a phone number you can text and zip code to, and we'll bring up most of the food pantries in this area and all our agencies, but it will also bring up food pantries say in Oak Valley close by. So if you want, I can share that information.
Sure,
That phone
yeah.
number is 631-450. 3775. And again, you just put in a zip code, it'll text you the link and then it'll pull up what's.
Oh, great, thank you. You know, I'll put that, add that on there.
Yeah, just
You
because
could
it's
put that on- you could put that on.
outside of. Glen Cove.
Yeah.
So I know through Island Harvest, we have to do record keeping.
Yes.
So Island Harvest gets all the records.
Yes.
Do you, or can you find out how many families where everybody, like General Glen Cove is serving?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, we don't necessarily have every food pantry in Glen Cove as our agency, but we have many of them.
So for example, like, I know my church has a food pantry, but it's a small food pantry, but we've seen an uptick in food insecurities. Like, we're now averaging 25 to almost 30 families a week, and we barely have enough food. And I know there's a lot of food pantries in Glen Cove, but I just want to know, is that an uptick with everybody else?
Well, I can tell you anecdotally, I go out to food pantries across Long Island, and there was a point during the pandemic that it actually dipped because there's just so much food available.
Yeah.
And now it's slowly going up, up, up. There's not a food pantry that I go to across Long Island that doesn't say to me, when I say to me, are you seeing more people? It doesn't say, yeah.
So it is an uptick throughout the island.
Throughout the island, but I can find it out for you, like on a monthly basis, on average, how many, the food, and we have St. Patrick's, we
Yeah.
have Nosh, the soup kitchen, and I think one or two other places. So we have a lot of the pantries that are serving and food to people. So I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
There is an uptick. I mean, you and Mrs. Caballero that have been delivering food to a lot of our clients for months now.
Yeah.
Like starting in the fall.
Yeah, that's what we know.
And it's been like every month when I get their reports, it's so much that include food, and homelessness, of course.
That's just like us at EOC, we over 400 families.
And I can tell you too, that we do distributions on a regular basis at our site, even in Melville. You know, all over the island, and those numbers, I was just speaking to the woman who's in charge of those kind of distributions, the community-based distributions are through the roof. Yeah, they're really high.
Is there a reason why it's gone up other than the fall? Because, you know, people are not working.
I
Because of the
mean,
winter?
you
The
know,
cost of
I
groceries.
think it's partly due to the economy in general.
Yeah.
And the
And then
food
the
is so
pulling back,
expensive.
yeah.
I mean, when you have to pay $8 for a dozen eggs, even if you never experienced food insecurity before, I think that could send a lot of people running to a food pantry. That's just my opinion.
I mean, for instance, my car insurance went up 19%, my house insurance went up 22%, my umbrella insurance went up 20%. And I also have flood insurance. So when, you know, as the average person, if they are looking at that much of an increase, that's got to affect something else. You can't drive, you know, without insurance.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm sorry, Christine Rice is in here because I know, I run the medical transportation for the city. And I know that every time I go to the senior center, there is
you see
more
the
and more
comment?
seniors eating there. I don't know the number, but I
Yeah.
know just by looking at the cafeteria, there are more and more people there. So it's the other thing, you know, because seniors are, you know, they cannot get out,
I don't
they
think you
can't
should take
afford
it
the
down.
food, they may only get the meal that
Travis,
they get at the
don't take
senior
it
center.
down.
So,
It's
you know,
gonna
that's
cause
something
nothing.
else, you know,
They are
we don't,
protected.
you know, we all
Just
should
leave
look
it
at.
alone.
It's like, you know, you're looking at the families, but you have these seniors who are alone, you know, and there's transportation to get them there. I know I have two clients that after I drop them off at the doctor, and I pick them up, they want to be dropped off at the senior center primarily for lunch. So I don't know if they're eating during the course of the day. I have no idea. And I can't ask the question because it really isn't any of my business. You know,
I think if you take it down,
personal,
she's gonna come back.
what I'm just saying is a lot of seniors that we should be addressing also.
I absolutely,
Disappeared.
we have a commodity supplemental food program at Island Harvest that's specifically for
Somebody
seniors.
complaining about.
And those
where
numbers have grown incredibly. And I don't know that we have a location that we distribute that food close enough to this area. That's
Right.
always a problem. Transportation.
And seniors don't drive, a lot of them
Yeah.
don't drive.
Right.
You know, so how are they supposed to get even to the supermarket? You know, so.
I have a question. So like if Pastor Travis's church, let's say, seen an increase, and he gets, I don't know how this works, so let's say he gets a delivery from Island Harvest, what, they just bring you food? Island
No,
Harvest?
so for myself, I go to Melville almost every other week or every week, and then I go to the East Hill Distribution Site every other Tuesday. So I'm in my Jeep, I'm filling that up almost every week. And that's barely enough food right now. I'm
And-
noticing.
But if you need more, will they give you more? Like if you go back more, will they give you more?
That depends on Island Harvest.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
so
just
you
curious.
usually are given like, a location and a day that you go
Yeah.
to pick up, because we have like close to
Okay.
400 agencies, soup kitchens, shelters, food pantries, also. And so, you're going to the JCC.
Yeah, so I go.
We work with the JCC to, as like a redistribution center. This is something new for us, where we, deliver a whole bunch of food to them, and then agencies from the area, if you're one of our agencies, can come and pick up food there, as well as coming to Melville, if that's the closest site for you.
Yeah, so I go to Melville every other Monday because I'm scheduled with you guys.
Okay.
But even like the JCC, it's like 8 agencies are there, and that's not even enough food because all the agencies are trying to.
And that's
on the North Shore. That's not even like, Glen Cove. So there's other food pantries on the North Shore. They bring in one of those Island Harvest trucks, and that's still not enough food.
Is that what you're finding? Are you finding more? Because I'm gonna bring this back to them.
So can we do an IAC sponsored distribution at one of the parking garages one day or something, in like 3 weeks or something like that, and see where that goes? And
I can go back to them and ask if they'd be willing to do that. I was
Okay.
trying to get them to do a distribution. I was for years. And it's always like, well, there's no location, but we think that we could find someplace.
we could either do it in the parking garage behind City Hall. I just need to get permission, or
I'll bring that back to them, but I have a feeling what they're gonna say to me is that, well, we have the JCC, but I'm gonna bring back to them, that's not enough.
And I announced my disappointment because I actually I'll spend the gas to go to Melville because everything is packed.
Right.
And they bring it out in the cart and I take everything. The JCC is like, a flea market.
Yeah, I know, I was there.
It's a flea market where you have 10 agencies trying to go through like mini boxes of stuff. And I don't have the time for that. It's for me, the JCC has been disorganized, and I've relayed that message to Island Harvest and to the people who are working at the JCC, because it just feels like if there are 10 agencies and they only bring enough food for 5, what is the point? And if you have 2 or 3, like it's supposed to be by vehicle per agency. So one agency has 2 vehicles there. They're taking for another agency's worth of food. For one agency, it doesn't seem fair to me.
Okay, so it's really not well run.
No, that's my perspective.
Yeah.
It's not well run.
Okay.
If we're all trying to do the same thing, and if food insecurity is going up on the island, then we need a better system to get that food out. And my pantry is small, so it's not like we're a big organization pantry.
So can I ask you, Island Harvest would want me to ask you this, well, are you also an agency for Long Island Care? With Long Island
So
Care?
I tried numerous times to get in contact with CARES, but they never respond back.
So I'm gonna tell you that, because I used to teach at Nassau Community College, I work with their food pantry, and I actually work with Long Island Cares to get them food on their liaison.
Yeah.
And if you can get signed up with Long Island Cares, I always tell them you should be on our agency and their agency. Now, the benefit of being signed up with them is they do deliver if you order enough food, and they also have a review system. And this is, just a function of having more money right now.
Yeah.
And so you can go online and choose exactly what you want, and that's what you will either pick up from them in Hop Hop, or they will deliver you order enough food. So might be worth trying.
I'll try again. I try every few months,
But I
like
will
reaching
go back.
out, but they never respond or pull back.
Travis, tell this person, tell her I told you to call her.
She may not answer.
Be careful with that.
Let's not forget who brought these things here, all right? Sure.
True, because I am partners with Long Island Care, and that's how we're able to get the fresh food and vegetables on Thursday. You go online and
You don't want,
them pick up. or
It's too much.
Yeah.
No,
And
no
also,
one is
I'm
willing
the
to put
one
the time.
that Travis just gave you the number, but she did tell me to speak to Travis, Michelle, so she's very nice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just worth it to have both, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to Island Harbor with your issues about that site because.
I don't use my name
that's, you know,
because then if I go there,
I have a question about summer.
Maybe
When the kids are out of school.
Wait, we'll talk about summer later because this summer's gonna stink.
So maybe we can send like an email to all the churches, because I know when we had COVID, our church did a little collection, because, you know, we're not that big, so we started collecting, and we sent it out to a couple of the other ministries, like the synagogue, Rabbi Liz at the time, Rabbi Uberman, and their members, their parishioners were willing to donate food, and they came and left it here, and we were able to give some food out. Maybe we can discuss this with a lot of the clergy and stuff, and then, since I don't have a pantry, but I can have my members donate to Pastor Travis. And then maybe another church could donate to the EOC, and then another church could donate to St. Rocco's, and maybe that could help a little bit, since we can't offer the space, but we could maybe motivate our parishioners to give to the other churches that do have it. We could maybe do like a little flyer or request or something,
Yeah.
you know.
Where does the food come from initially?
So some of it is from, you know, people doing food drives, some of it is from grants that we receive, so we purchase it, some of it is from government programs. A lot of the fresh fruit and vegetable, a variety of different government programs. Some of it is from relationships we have with Stop and Shop, Costco, Target, they, you know, donate their food to us. ShopRite, we have special programs with, it comes from so many different places.
So you have enough, it's just the distribution.
Well, no,
No.
we don't necessarily. Sometimes we're flush with food and sometimes it's, you know, a little more scarce.
Yeah.
It is, yes, and that is the problem, but this just sounds like it's inequitable a little bit with the way it's being distributed partly, and also a larger amount of food needs to get there.
Yeah, sometimes like the JCC, there'll be lots of bulk items, like cans of chicken or big boxes of pasta. You know, a good week at the JCC, I would say, is like lots of meat. They'll have, you know, one Tuesday where it's like a pallet worth of, you know, frozen meat. So sometimes it's a good, but you know, it just, for me, on my end, when you have like 4 big boxes of miscellaneous items, some of it could be like energy drinks. Like, I'm not gonna give energy drinks to pantry people, or, you know, other items that you would find at a 7-Eleven, but not at a supermarket. Because people also, like, you know, Kathy said, they'll just donate what's in their pantry, and they'll think that we did our good deed, but it's really items that you wouldn't use in your own.
This is a whole presentation that I do all the time. About, you know, our donations often reflect also what people eat. And in this country, people are not eating what's good health, you know? So it's not that they're being cruel, but, you know, if you're feeding your children most days, macaroni and cheese, yes, macaroni and cheese is not the healthiest choice. And chicken fingers, that's what you're gonna donate. And so we are up against that somewhat, you know, we try, we get out information to the public about like what we need and what would be a healthier choice, but you know, at the end of the day, that's, you know, and the same thing happens with our huge donations from, you know, Stop and Shop, Costco, they just give us everything.
Whatever.
It would not be that way if I was.
Have their donations dropped as the food prices have gone up?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
In particular, things like meat, like we have a program with Stop and Shop, it's Meet the Need, and they'll take things that are just about ready to expire, they'll freeze them perfectly good, and they'll donate them to us, but we sort of drop in that.
Yeah.
Increasing prices. They're working more lean, they don't have as much surplus. Yeah.
What about baby formula and such? Is that been a problem still? Or is that better?
No, after that little crisis,
Yeah.
not so much. We don't get a whole lot of donations of baby formula, but yeah, no, it's not. People are coming to us because they can't get it, right? Not necessarily.
Anything else? Going once, twice, well, just somebody said something before about kids in the summer. I think all the youth agencies in here can have a crisis this summer with much needed construction that's going to be done at the school district, which means for all our programs, the school buildings will be off limits. Kind of left all of us scrambling to try and figure out where we're going to be, what we're going to do. We all know that our programs here in the city are not for fun, but for need. So setting up tents at a park is not going to work when there's a thunderstorm and parents got to come and get their kids. That doesn't help. So it's going to be a weird summer, a hard summer. There's going to be thousands of kids with nothing to do this summer. Something I'm doing, besides calling every church in Glen Cove and Seacliff, I'm trying to book St. Pat's. That's costing over $10,000. And to be 100% honest with you, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it because I don't know if New York State is going to certify the rooms. The school's been closed for over 10 years. There's paint peeling off the walls. It's complete disarray. So I think we're all going to have an issue, whoever is working with kids this summer, trying to figure out what we're going to do and what the best way to do this will be. You know, as the city, in a city agency, I don't know.
So what's the money for that, like the state has to approve it?
It's not money. The state doesn't approve much. So basically all of us here are in some shape or form certified or licensed by a governing body.
Yeah.
Some of us are SAC licensed, school age childcare licensing. Some of us are camp licensed. Some of us are just basically fall under the New York State Department of Education credentials.
Mhm.
So when you have a bunch of buildings, for example, St. Hyacinth's, they're going to be renting it out because it might be a Montessori school. That's out of the question. St. Rocco's can't rent out their school because they have the feast.
Yeah.
You know, St. Pat's, I'm not jumping through hoops and promising everything. You know, I'm paying their taxes, sort of say, for a grant that I got, just so I could offset the expenses. But not every agency here can. I don't think anyone else has grant money that can cover a $10,000 for 5-week rent. You know, and again, it's not guaranteed that the building is going to get approved. I'm waiting for New York State to come in, take a look at the building, and see if there's going to be an approval. There's no space. We're limited. There's nowhere to go. Every school's off the books. I met with Dr. Rihanna multiple times. Middle school and Daisy School are doing a lot of construction in the parking lots, off limits. Landing School is getting an extension, off limits. High school, there's construction plus their high school summer school, off limits. Gribbon School's available, but the school district has to do their own summer program. So half of them are going to be there. Connolly School, they're doing construction downstairs, but the upstairs might be available, but they need to do their summer school. You can't fault them. You know, this isn't, they're not saying no to us because they don't want us there. They need to do what they need to do. And it's not doing it, busy, booked. They run other programs. Every agency in some shape or form runs its own programs.
Have you actually,
Go ahead.
all the kids have to be in one building? Is that what you're saying? Or can they be split up between 4 churches?
They could be split up amongst 5. They could be split up amongst 10.
All right.
Every building needs to be licensed. Every building needs to have a fire marshal, a C of O, a walking plan, a fire escape route. You got 3 months to do this. We all know how New York State works. That's the problem. If you want to do this on the hush and say I'm doing a program, my pickup is here.
That's what I'm saying.
That's one thing.
It doesn't have
There's
to
a lot of
be.
liability.
There's a lot of liability. There's insurance. I'm not going to tell anyone how to run their program.
But
What
for a
about the-
church,
what
for a
about,
church.
Sending the children, like just splitting up the children amongst all these different camps that are already.
But none of these camps have established. It would,
Well, what
okay.
about the beaches? Couldn't you go to private?
What if it rains?
And
Are you gonna be are you a parent that can go pick up their kid and leave work? You know, that it's that type of mentality. Tyne of Oyster Bay does that. They go in different camp, they pick up their kids.
Right, I know.
You know, but I can't set up tents at the stadium.
Athens camp.
Yeah.
and The kids are out there and they
That's
got
so
events,
it's
water
a
fountains, they got the
different-
beach, they got the that.
Hopefully
We have
something
beautiful beaches
changes.
and Parks here.
What about Web Institute?
Web Institute has their own programs.
But that's only 4 weeks, two-week sessions.
Yeah, when do they start? When they end?
July 10th for 2 weeks, and then it ends August 4th.
When we start, most of our camps start July 5th, and we go to the second week of August. They don't have enough classrooms. Some of these places might be good for people that have programs of less than 100. Somebody like me who has, at this point this summer, 500 kids amongst 3 programs.
That's what I'm saying. If it falls under a church or a religious organization, it falls under their umbrella. So if I'm doing a ministry, it has nothing to do with city, state, or anything. It falls under my umbrella.
But you are still watching kids. New York State has the right to come in and make sure, because they don't know what can happen,
Every
who your
church
staff are.
Every church has a BBS that the state doesn't come in like every week, say how many kids you got for that week.
But in order to open for daycare program,
We don't have to call it a daycare program. We call it like a big VBS where it's an all day.
religious camp,
Yeah.
I see what's.
but you could do that.
What I'm saying, help you out.
Yeah, take some of your kids.
You know, we absorb some of those kids.
Mhm.
It's still using our building. It falls under our umbrella. And every ministry can form their own little vacation Bible school so that you can get some of those kids off the street or at home. If, like here, Brenda said, it could fall under this church's
Yeah.
umbrella. You know, she might need the volunteers from the city or.
Of course, the staffing and all that stuff.
Yeah, or donation where it doesn't cost $10,000, because it's not a city, state funded thing. It falls under the umbrella of the
Mhm.
church or any organization. I don't see a state, because it's not a school. We're not running a school system or a day camp.
But then the problem, there's one more problem. And this is where she said about summer food.
Yeah.
If you're a SAC licensed program, you're entitled and you're able to get lunches for free for these kids. If you're not, you're relying on donations and food pantry services to cover food. Get it? It's Travis, sleepless nights since December. Since December.
You don't
This is
have
all
to
I'm
utilize
thinking.
these ones for.
What do you say? I missed it. What do you say? What?
As beautiful as you once were.
No, that happened 2015. 2008, I started.
Moved to Glen Cove, that's your fault.
Imagine if I didn't.
Oh, please.
If I didn't, I'd be screwed. No, but I mean, this is the time that we all have to just kind of put our heads together. You'll see, I don't know what you guys, the force, I don't know what you guys are doing. But this has been, listen, at the end of the day, if we didn't care, it'd be so easy for all of us to say, a summer. What's a summer? We haven't had a summer in years, but we're trying to figure out what we can do for these kids.
What's the EOC, Irma? What is the EOC doing?
As of right now, like Spiro said, I have sleepless.
Yeah.
Don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Yeah, because I know the Boys and Girls Club is already locked.
They have their own place.
I know, they have, that's what I'm saying, they already have, they're locked.
This is why we should start a petition that City of Glen Cove needs a rec center. The thing.
Well, I've been
Did I say
saying
that loud?
I've been saying
Now
that
that
for
you say
years.
that,
Home sports, right?
there's a lot of empty places in this town.
Oh, yeah.
I have the building department knocking on doors to see what place I can use.
Yeah, because.
You got to consider bathrooms.
First Presbyterian Church.
No, that's.
Somebody said that to me, but I don't think it works in enough classrooms. Ferry terminal's not big enough and there's only one set of bathrooms. Next. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's nuts. It's nuts.
I've been to, and I have to say.
Yeah, he's gonna charge me 5 times the amount of
rent.
rent.
For years. And one of the things I've been now trying to talk them into, we've got this Livingston thing that's been going on and off, on and off, on Glen Cove Avenue. And they knocked down the 2 people, and that thing's been going on for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
So it's vacant land. And I have mentioned it to two mayors, and I said, have them sell the city the property for $1 million. They get a tax write-off, the developer, and put a freaking senior center there. We have no pool in the city. There's no swimming pool here. You're generating jobs. They want to make Morris Avenue a sports road, because they want to knock down everything and build it up with just pure sport. Okay, tie that into that.
And the city's just looking at me, you out of your mind. And it says, we have nothing in here for children. We never had anything here for children, especially children. And when I moved here, the projects were all Black. There was nothing here for them to do. And I get angry at this. Now my kids are grown and gone, and they live someplace else. But that's besides the point. We have nothing here for the seniors. You know, if you're a senior independent, you may not want to go to the senior center. You may want to just hang out in the community center. You just may want to just sit down and be in a pool area. We have one pool. You have to join it. It's a lot of money. And we don't have that here. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's
very
A
expensive.
pool
very
is a
expensive,
tricky
and
thing.
I'm
though.
so tired, like, we have no infrastructure, all I do is scream at everybody.
I Camp from
This is
Great
a
Neck is
city.
coming back
Act
again,
like it.
so they're gonna be using Camp from Great Neck.
Oh.
I'm talking about Cold Sport.
No, Cove Sports I might be utilizing for my older kids, but
I know, but for the
How
summer,
many
you
kids
have
do
a
you get?
place to be.
well, between my city camp
Where you
program is
guys-
300, after 3 is about 150, and youth bureau another 100, so I'm like 500 kids.
Oh.
We take the kid to the pool, we take the kid to the movie theater,
Oh.
trips.
Okay, and then when they're not there, they'll be in the office. Like a rec.
We have preparing for the beach.
Okay.
You know what my kid used to do is movie theater anytime it was
It
raining.
is, the problem becomes though, you want a safe
Right?
drop off and a safe pickup.
Yeah.
You know, my biggest fear in working with kids is two, a drowning kid and a lost kid. Those are the two things. Call me the boring camp director. I don't go to pools. I don't go to pools. I don't go to pools. I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't need to be on channel 12 news, you know, because accidents happen.
Yeah.
Accidents
Yeah.
happen.
All you need is one.
You could have the best staff, yes. You know, Glen Cove has 3 beautiful beaches, 2 beaches that are working right now, whatever.
Right.
Utilize it. Utilize Morgan's Park. Morgan's Park is the most underutilized gem in the city of Glen Cove.
Yeah.
There's a reason, you know, it's funny. People that live in Glen Cove, oh, the beach is dirty. Oh, this is dirty. Oh, that's dirty. Guess what my number one fight is in my recreation role? Non-residents coming into Glen Cove. It's good enough and clean enough for them,
Right.
but for us, it's no good.
Have you said to the sea?
Doing a big tent there for in case. of-
Thunderstorms,
Yeah.
thunderstorms, lightning, wind, you're by the water. Wind could take the tent down. You know, we have the concerts in the summer. We do, and they're brand new bathrooms up top, 2 sets of working bathrooms down on the bottom, but it's dangerous.
Have
It's
you
dangerous.
reached out to the Sikh temple?
Sikh temple, Camille, are you still there?
I don't think so.
She left the one.
Yes, I'm here.
Go, it doesn't matter.
I'm here.
All right, we're still zooming this? Of course we are. I'm gonna be fired tomorrow.
I'm here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you wanted to stick around or what. I was just gonna stop the recording.
Oh, okay. So the meeting's over?
Yeah, for the most part, we're just bitching.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye. The Sikh temple. So I